Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to run my mouth just for a little bit. Andy Cohen. So, Andy Cohen has been making the headlines, the blogs, the people are upset with Miss Andy because they felt as though he didn't treat Monique right at the reunion, or they didn't like, I guess, the shade or how he handled Monique at the reunion. You know, I have this love-hate relationship with Andy Cohen. You know, the last time I really was like, girl, I'm so over her, was when the reunion when Nene and Kenya tag teamed Kim, rightfully so. And I just didn't like how he moved after the reunion. And he always left a bitter taste in my mouth since then. And I used to always see how he would kind of like, if you go back and watch my videos, I used to always say, girl, Andy don't like Kenya. Girl, like the way he used to come at Kenya at them reunions, then some people will be like, well, the reason why he comes at Kenya so hard is because he knows that Kenya can handle it. Okay, girl, whatever. So I guess the same way I feel about Kenya is the same way that a lot of you feel about Monique, right? Andy does remind me of like the Shawnees and the Mona Scott Youngs. And what I mean by that is, remember when Mona used to host the Love and Hip Hop reunions? And I never liked Mona as the host because I felt as though she used to flex on stage. She used to throw her weight around on stage. And it's like, girl, it's almost like your professor getting you together in front of the class and you really can't do nothing about it because you know the class that you're taking at the moment, you're not the best at. You're not, you probably, gonna be walking that line of a C or a C plus. And you can't say nothing back to the professor because you know that you're gonna need him before he needs you. And you're gonna be, hey, Professor Jenkins, can I talk to you? Can I do some extra credit? I just need a couple more points, And I feel like that's how Mona used to do. I feel like that's how Andy does sometimes. I feel like he throws his weight around on stage. And it's like, girl, what can I do? But one thing I will say about that Kenya Moore used to get Andy together. But, Shawnee is another one. I never liked Shawnee, especially on the cast, because I feel like everybody else on the cast can be called all types of B's and, O's and Uts and get popped in the face. And the first and last time somebody called Shawnee out of her name was Brandy. And what Brandy at? Not on VH1. Hello? Not on Basketball Wives. So I can say that Andy does throw weight around on the stage, does pull the boss card on stage quite often. With the situation with Monique, it got to be a cold day in hell for me to get on here and defend Andy Cohen. Before y'all even get to, girl, just listen. Just listen, girl. This is how I'm processing this situation. The first thing is this. When has Andy not been shady? Andy been a shady queen. Everybody knows that. Tell me one time Andy has not been shady. Andy been a shady queen. It's almost like people getting upset at Jamal Bryant, like, you supposed to be a pastor. How you gonna try to respond to Monique? Girl, when has he ever acted like a pastor? Girl, now y'all expect him to start in 2020? Okay. I'm not about to break down that fight, but I'm going to say this much about the fights that I know about on Bravo. And you can add to it or correct me if I'm wrong. We have had Teresa flip over tables. And I'm about to get to my point. Just hold up. We've had Teresa flip over a table. I remember Teresa pushing Andy. And I almost can bet my last dollar that I guarantee you that she apologized to Andy for pushing him. It was at a reunion when it had to be at a reunion. We've had Portia pull Kenya hair. I think she pulled her to the ground. She stood over Cynthia and Cynthia had to kick her off of her. She chased, I guess, her assistant or someone down an alley. We have Margaret and Danielle from New Jersey. They, I think Margaret had threw some water on Danielle, and Danielle walked around and snatched that bitch by her ponytail. Danielle is not on New Jersey anymore. And even after that, even though Margaret threw water on Danielle, girl, everybody on the cast, I think except for Teresa, said that it was, I think they had to make Teresa say, girl, you need to say it's wrong. But everybody thought that Danielle was out of line for putting her hands on Margaret. They thought it was out of order. Now, girl, that's why I was like, girl, y'all got me confused. Because, girl, if you walk up and throw some water on me, girl, at that point, girl, I think you just want to fight. Girl, now that's what I'm like, girl, even though I do think that we get to an age where we shouldn't fight, but girl, nobody just can walk up to you and just like violate your space. You know what I'm saying? Or violate you and just think that ain't nothing gonna happen. So now we have Candace and Monique. And in my honest opinion, the fight between Candace and Monique has to be the most violent fight that we have seen on Bravo. Monique talking about she got glass in her face. Candace talking about Monique punched me in my head, which we know she did because Monique said she punched in her head. I saw her punch in her head. But it took about 10 people to pull Monique off of Candace. So now we're a year removed from the incident. We come to this reunion. Candace, you a disaster on Twitter. Get it together, bitch. Monique, what you got to say about this fight? So, you ain't got nothing to say? I mean, I'm trying to explain how I felt. It looks like you're just like a matter-of-fact type of person. Well, how I grew up. Here we go with the how I grew up. So at this point, I'm thinking in my head, Andy is probably thinking, bitch, come on now, sis, give me something. There's no way that I can, as the boss, sit here and not push you to say that I'm sorry. Because this is the thing, right? In about a month or two, we're about to start shooting season 6. So what happens if you black out again? What happens when y'all are out having drinks and we know that a confrontation is more than likely going to happen and something happens and it triggers you and you beat up the next bitch? So now we're going to be back here a year later having this same discussion. So I'm going to need you to give me more than, just to sit there and act like you don't care. Girl, you had a fight at work and it took 10 of my employees, my production team and the cast to pull you off of one person. And y'all think Andy is just supposed to let it go. That does not make sense to me. And then, I'm getting ahead of myself. It just does not make sense to me. It doesn't. I think that once Monique finally apologized, Andy kind of let it go. People say, Andy was being shady towards Monique. Girl, he's shady towards all those bitches. He could have just told her, girl, don't even come to the reunion. Girl, you're a liability. You like to fight. Girl, the truth of the matter is, Monique, you whooped Candace's ass. So you would think that I would have thought that Monique would have came to the reunion like, girl, I'm sorry. Because this is the thing. You whoop Monique, you whoop Candace's ass. The majority of people are on your side, or they're team Monique, or they don't think you did anything wrong. Girl, I would have came to the reunion like, girl, I'm sorry, girl. And that would have been the end of it. Girl, it took us how many hours to get you to finally apologize to this girl? Now we can move on. Because now I have in my head as the employer, okay, she apologized. She says she's remorseful. She's crying, even though she's squeezing out tears. She's crying. So, okay, now we can move on. Let's slither into season 6. And girl, let's get this money together. And now people are saying, what Nene said is true. No, what Nene said is not true. Nene been all on South Beach with Andy, taking selfies, hanging out with Andy, and now all of a sudden, girl, he's the biggest racist in the world. You know what? I don't know if Andy is a racist or not, but it's hard for me to believe that after all this time, girl, now he's a racist. Y'all go out online and call your boss a racist and say your boss is on coke and see what the fuck happened. Nene, they say you've been getting paid $2 million per season. If I was the employer, I would say I'm not about to keep paying this bitch no $2 million just because she got some one-liners. She barely, excuse me, y'all. She barely bring her black ass to work. When she come, she leaving the reunions. When she do stay for the whole reunion, she ain't got shit to say. You think I'm about to keep paying this bitch $2 million? No. Cut that bitch pay. It ain't no different than what they did to Kenya. Kenya got married off of the show, and what do you think they did to Kenya? They reduced that bitch pay so drastically, the girl was just like, you know what, girl, I'm just gonna walk away because y'all got me fucked up. But the truth of the matter is, Kenya, girl, this show is called The Real Housewives of Atlanta. You're finally a housewife, and you get married off of camera, and now Bravo is like, bitch, you got us fucked up. Do it again and see what happened. And you see Kenya came back the next season and was like, girl, you got to come on, Mark, because I'm not going to lose this check again. Ain't no different from Nene. Girl, you're not doing your job. That's why you lost your job. You lost your job because you called your boss a racist and a cokehead. Even if it is true. And I told you, I think that Andy is a cokehead. Kathy Ben said that. And I said a long time ago, I believe everything that Kathy said. Kathy just came out here and said that man was a cokehead. Girl, he on that shit. But, girl, like, now it's, oh, well, what Nene said had to be true. No. Nene got fired because she wasn't doing her job. Nene got fired because every time we look up the last, 3 or 4 reunions, Nene is at the reunion on hush mouth, just sitting there with her legs crossed. Nene got fired. Hello? Nene got fired because she called her boss a racist and a cokehead. Nene's not coming back to Bravo because once you attacked Andy, now you're attacking the whole network. That's why Nene's not coming back to Bravo. You go out there and make a video and call your boss a cokehead and a racist and see what happens. Just do it. I want y'all to tell me what happened. Y'all go to y'all job and fight and see if they force your ass out. See what your boss got to say. If you are an employer, if your employees got into a fight, what would you have done? Kept both of them? Or fired? Probably both of them. Or at least one of them. The one who you know was swinging. I'm sorry, I don't think Andy did anything to Monique at their reunion that he hasn't done to anybody else. I will say that I think that Andy needs to be more behind the scenes. I do think they need a new host. But I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't. But you fighting at work. You have no remorse. It's a year later, and you still got this fucked up attitude about, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Which is fine, but girl, if you don't give a fuck, then bitch, just leave the show. Which she did. And girl, I'm gonna go ahead and just say one of y'all can say what y'all want to say. Girl, Monique, you sure you want to leave that show? Because the last time you said what you said at the reunion was Chris is doing good. Chris investments are doing well. You use this money to fund your projects. AKA, because that nigga won't give me no money, so I had to go find me a job to do my own shit. So are you sure you want to let that Real Housewives of Potomac check go, girl? Because you already let us know that that's Chris's money. You didn't say y'all, you said Chris's. I'm just saying. I like I said, maybe I'm off, but I don't think I am. I don't like I said, you know, Andy is a messy ass queen. Andy has been shady to a lot of the girls. Not to say that it makes it right, but he has. He's been shady to a lot of the girls. This is not the first time. Some of the things that he said, yeah, it was shady. It was. But to the point where it was just like, oh my God, that means that he's a racist. That means that Nene claims are true. No, that don't have nothing to do with nothing. Those two things is totally different. in my opinion. Y'all so mad at Andy. Y'all want to be so pissed off at Andy. Now he's a racist. Now he's coming for a black woman. But then in the next breath, your ass want to tell Monique to go drag another black woman. Y'all are some fucking clowns if I ain't never seen something before. And y'all is whoever that go for. How the fuck you gonna be out here talking about Black Lives Matter, protect black women, and then get onto Andy and call him a racist, but then turn around because you don't like the way that he treated Monique, but then turn around and then tell Monique, go drag that black bitch. Go drag Candace again. That bitch deserved it. Girl, y'all ain't nothing but, a lot of y'all ain't nothing but Portia Williams times 2. It does not go. You cannot be in one breath talking about Black Lives Matter, protect black women, and then, girl, all of a sudden, girl, it's drag Candace. Drag that bitch again. Whoop that hoe again. That bitch always talking. That's why she got her ass whooped again. But protect black women. Protect black women. Girl, what? Girl, what? You will swear up and down Candace was out here causing all types of chaos and confusion, touching on children, all types of shit. I'm done. Bye, y'all.